Custom nameplates by Thea, Trials Rider's wife, helper, graphic designer. Gonna make some shirts. Looking good.
There you go.
So if you've been watching my channel, you know I'm gearing up for my first ever trials event, and my buddy Mike just got this brand new 2020 Sherco 250 racing, and he's only had like an hour on the bike. But I said, hey man, let's load up, let's get over to this trials event. So this is the Vintage Days weekend, and most guys are riding vintage trials bikes. Mike and I don't have them, but they still let us in, and we're gonna give it a go. So this was the A line on the first section. There was actually a lot of spectators out there. If you can see in the background, I'd say between the first two sections and the last two sections, there was probably like 100 or so people out there. So this is section one, and it probably had the biggest initial obstacles that we faced all day. So just going over this log here, and then a hard turn to the right, go over that log, and then swing back around to the left to hit it again. Mike's building up the courage. This is section one. First couple logs are a little bit more intimidating than what we thought we were getting into, I guess. I got a 1 on the first section. Mike's getting some advice from the legend Brad Bomber. Great guy. Now I know Mike's riding ability, and he probably could have gotten over this obstacle given another shot. Unfortunately, popping it into neutral did not help with that effort.
Yeah, you would have been over that, no problem. Hit that log straight on now, Mike. No, don't slip. Nice. There you go.
So this is section 2, which is basically a big rock garden, and some of these boulders, I would call them, are a lot bigger than the flat rock creek bottoms that I've been dealing with. And we had to squeeze way over here to the left side in order to go up over this log, and I just didn't get the angle right and was leaning in.
Still didn't get it. If you want me to put the camera away, I will.
What's that? No, go ahead, you can go around.
So Mike's a good friend, but he deals with a lot. I'm sticking that camera right in his face. I'm like, come on, buddy, let's go to this trial. I know you've only been on this bike for an hour, and you've never really trained for one of these events, but it'll be fun. And with all these people and all this pressure, it was a lot to handle.
All right. So Mike has changed lines. He's gonna ride the C line, especially with these muddy conditions. Get it, Mike, get it, get it. Yeah, no slippage. Just a 1 for Mike on.
So I'm trying to get you guys some off-body camera images as well as this chest mount that I'm wearing for perspective, but I didn't start wearing this chest mount until loop 2. So some of this stuff is out of order, but I'm trying to put it in order for you guys, which just makes it a little bit difficult. Anyway, so I'm riding B line, Mike just finished C, and this turn around in the creek was definitely a little bit more challenging. I found if I just squatted down, everything in the trial got easier, but I didn't always do that. Thankfully there I did, and then it was just a left-hand turn down a pretty steep creek bank, but just crank up those RPMs, keep the momentum up this muddy hill, and I'm out. Alright, this next part's just going to be getting from one section to the next, and for all my single track riders out there, check out this terrain. This is actually an absolute blast, just getting from one area to another.
Single track riding. Single track riding. Gotta get it done before the clock runs out. Got a half hour to complete this loop, so don't need to get hurt on the way to and from, but this is a lot of fun, man. A little smooth, flowy single track here.
So unfortunately, Mike's stomach after the first loop just got a little bit queasy, and so he decided to go ahead and finish the next 2 without me. So I'm just cruising here trying to get a full loop in half hour. Honestly, my first thoughts on this whole experience, it was just so fun. It was really cool to walk the sections with Mike and try and problem solve. How are we going to get through all these? Alright, so this is section 4, just down to this creek, and then it's going to be a right-hand turn. Just want to keep the momentum, keep the RPMs up. And then setting up for this next log, you know, all the stuff I'm hitting in my backyard, there's no reason to stop afterwards, so I'm used to actually trying to drop both wheels at the same time. So you can see I just overshoot here, have to slam on the brakes. I'm actually rubbing the ribbon there, which means I had to turn hard left, and then the exit's right there on the right. I wanted to get over that log and finally get out of there.
Yeah, you said you made that harder than it had to be.
So section 5 was pretty fun. It was one of the longer ones that I did. Pretty steep drop down in here. And then want to go up around and turn to the left and watch out for those slippery roots. Actually put the front wheel right where I wanted in between there. Little rev squat go up here. And again, slamming on the brakes, almost overshot it. Hard left turn to avoid this log sticking out. And then just get into position to head up this creek bank, anywhere I wanted pretty much. And I'm out. Section 6, more of these big rocks that just presented a lot of challenge here. I need to work on picking my lines. One, I'm taking a dab there, and then an unneeded one turning up this hillside. And then once up here, I had to ride the edge of this bank on the right, and then this hard left turn coming up. I just need to practice my tight turns, let's be honest. I didn't lean the bike enough, didn't get wide enough. Yeah, there's a lot to work on here. Section 7, I was able to get an observer, Pete Nutter, who I met a few months ago to shoot a little video. This is the first time I've actually put it into second gear, heading up some of these steeper hills. This was a pretty fun section. This one's just going to be an up and down twice. Trying to squat in and get those knees forward and hips in on these up hills. Glad I've been practicing some of that. I'm going to go ahead and take you along for the first person perspective of this. Now, the first time I went up this hill, I cut it way short. This time I was plenty wide. But last time I was turning tight, and that tree right there, that little sapling on the right, the first loop through, I almost hit my right-hand brake on there, and at the top of the hill, that would not have been good. Definitely helps to swing it wide and take your time in these turns. And I'm out. Section 8 was one of my favorites just because of the progression that I saw. So there was a small uphill and then another uphill which led into a very steep, sharp left-hand turn, and twice while I was in second gear I tried to drop it down into first and just couldn't quite pull off that turn. A little frustrated with myself, but by the last loop of the day I was able to make that turn. I just left it in second gear, and I don't know why I don't practice more in second gear, but you'll see here I was able to stay nice and wide, get set up for a good line coming into this. And this is the spot right here. I know I can squat and lean the bike a lot more, but I was happy to miss that tree and make it out.
Yes. Got it. 9. I've been taking it wide on the start. Trying to avoid some of these rocks.
So you can see my left leg flailing there, and no one else had taken that line to set them up wide to get plenty of momentum to get up over that log. And then as I get over this one, slam on the brakes again, hard right-hand turn. Now down here, I don't know why I took a dab. A little frustrating as I'm starting to get more competitive with it and try and do my absolute best. Still happy with it though.
The hardest part, and then I dabbed there.
So section 10, this is actually the A line, and here's David. Unfortunately, I captured a fall, but he actually made it onto the podium. Nice job, first place for him.
Didn't mean to pull out the video camera and psych you out, man. It's all in good fun, though.
Hell yeah.
Jeremy, I'm gonna get a little video of you today, all right, buddy? This is Jeremy, says a 1976 Yamaha. Smooth. All right, section 10. Tight turn here. That's all right, that's all right. All right. right, just a 1.
Can't do anything.
You were stuck.
I was completely stuck. I couldn't move one way or the other. Like, oh, we're putting the foot down because that's the only way.
Well, you were hopping. I was like, look at him go.
I was trying
Stud's trying to hop this.
Nope, you're too close to the tree. Oh well.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So section 10, the last one for the day. This is the B line that I was riding. Pretty straightforward, just 3 logs to get over. On the last one, I went ahead and put the front tire into the log. Not ready for a jab zap, just a double blip. Overall, happy with my score. Wound up a little less than 1 point average per section. All right, guys, Tommy T here, first year Moto Trials, first event and first podium. Actually really excited with how the day went. Wound up getting 3rd. There was only 5 competitors in the modern intermediate class in this heritage event. I wound up losing out to a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old, but still had an absolute blast. I realized that the obstacle practice that I've been doing in my backyard definitely paid off. None of the obstacles were as hard. It was really the turning, the tight turning, the slippery conditions, some of the hillside type maneuvers that is what I need the most work on. So I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and even that bell notification. Leave a comment. Love to hear from you guys. Great to be in this community and hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks.